Hey, welcome back to the channel. So we have here the new version preview for 3.4.11 and I'm a little bit late. Sorry about that. I was sick for 2 days. So yeah, I can only touch my computer right now. So here we are, the video that you have been waiting for, the analysis for the new Esper in this version preview. So let's go.
One must stare death in the face to realize the value of life. Just like that.
Osana, legendary fighter. And oh my god. Her design is very classy. Like it's like her clothes looks like Freddie Mercury, I think. Yeah. So that's Osana. So this is the Osana story, the equipment. I think I didn't make my equipment the other day. Yeah, the last new Esper. I didn't make my specific equipment in that. I skip a lot of content nowadays. Like I barely have enough time to even finish my dailies, and as usual, I kind of like skip the guessing game. Yeah, but I saw Petros, right? Yeah. The last guessing game, the Golden City Challenge, I think. Yeah, I think a lot of people was surprised about Petros coming on top, but who have been here or watching my videos, like you shouldn't be surprised, like when Vivi tried to pull certain Esper, they must be very, very special then. Yeah. We've already known ever since Petros came out, so we shouldn't be surprised. You shouldn't be surprised, whoever watching my videos. So let's just continue. The memory reef. What is this? Autumn breeze. Login for 14 days, and we receive an. Is that a free sender skin? Nice. Temporal Tower Heart. Oh, wait. That was too fast. We got a hard mode for Temporal Tower, and what is this? Select this phase challenge formation. Oh, they give us limited Esper to choose from. So your knowledge here will be very, very useful. And as usual, the rare Esper and the epic Esper are always gonna be very helpful. Like it's not always all about the legendary Espers, but the epic and the rare ones are still very much strong in this game. PvE Auto Battle! Automat is now available for special tower trouble. Nice, this is something exactly for me, for someone who doesn't have time to, just clicking on every single stage. Now I can just leave this on auto. Nice. Optimizations. This is one I have been updated. Okay. Ooh, Shadow over Orville. I don't know why, but it's been a long time since Dislyte really is like a long story. Like all the current Esper that comes out, they all just kind of like a short story. Like there's not something like Leora and Elaine kind of story, Anna and Nora's kind of story. Like they release a special video animation for those Espers. Nowadays they no longer release that kind of Esper. So probably they're cooking on something, or probably they don't receive enough money from all the pay-to-win players. They are the only one who knows. So as usual, let's just enjoy the game, keep playing the games, and try to support the developer as much as we can. So let's go. Here, the patch 3.4.11 details, and we're gonna analyze Osana's skills here, so get ready. Osana, Sipetotec, I think this is like, what is that? The Aztec god. 5-star Inferno, Osana is a fighter who specializes in inflicting bleed on a single target. Nice. We have the pair for Camille, and who is that? The Black Lion. What is his name? I forgot. Wait, let me check. What was his name? Forgot. His name is Black Lion. Alolin. Yeah, I forgot his name. So we have a partner for them, and let's take a look at the ability one. Osteotomy deals damage to one enemy based on attack, inflicts bleed. Okay. Ability 2, radical treatment, gains phantom pain at the start of a round. Each time enemies receive a debuff, gains 1 stack of phantom pain. Yeah, as usual, they don't tell you what phantom pain is. At the start of Osana's turn, inflicts several stacks of bleed on the enemy with the highest HP. Ignores resist. This is nice. So she is most likely gonna be made as a tank killer, so this is very good because nowadays we have seen a lot of problem against HP based Esper. Like as usual, it's gonna be rotating like rock paper scissors. Previously the split team was dominating with Tolan and Ana. Then after that, the Wuyo, Yamato, and Sakura's team are dominating, and then after that, the Amir, and then Sakura again, and Feng Sun, etc. Like the HP based Esper are dominating. Now they're gonna release the counter for the HP based Esper, hopefully, but we will never know. Like Dislyte nowadays is getting balanced, like all the newest Esper that comes out, they all have strength and weaknesses. So just like Amir, like even though he is very, very strong, like when he comes out, his counter is already there. We have a lot of diseased appliers Esper, especially Iki, and then after that, when Wuyo comes out, they release Momo, and when Ana comes out, we have a lot of multi-hitters, but it takes a long time to to counter Ana specifically. Like they release a lot of Ana counter because she was such a problematic child. So this one hopefully is also kind of like balanced. If the target already has bleed, when Osana attacks, instantly applies bleed damage to them after attacking. Nice. Bleed explosion. So as usual, a debuff players, like someone like me, like who use like burn, poison, bleed in any other RPG games, we all looking forward to those who can explode those damage over time. So when Eve first came on, I was talking in my videos about the poison explosion skill. I was hoping that Itisar was one because of her snake. Apparently she wasn't a poison Esper. And eventually Eve becomes the poison explosions Esper, So that was really good. And Eve becomes a really, really strong poison Esper right now. If you don't believe me, you can try it yourself. Like, Eve becomes insanely strong, especially in Andras, And you can also use Eve in PvP if you want. I tried her and she was very, very good. And then we already have a bleed explosion from Camille, and now we have another one to do the bleed explosion, because bleed explosion is not as strong as poison explosion, but we will see how strong Osana's bleed explosion gonna be, because she specializes in inflicting bleed on a single target. So hopefully her damage gonna be higher, much higher than Camille in terms of single target damage. So ability 3, final diagnosis, inflicts bleed on one enemy for 3 turns, a much longer turn, and then deals damage to them 2 times based on attack. So if you do want to bring Osana and Camille together in a single, in the same lineup, you're gonna be able to explode this bleed a lot of times. And then after Ascension, absorbs the target's AP. And Resonance 1, final diagnosis, final damage increase, that's the third ability. Resonance 2, after applying bleed damage, dispels some debuffs from allies. This is nice, but this can be a double-edged sword because this is her weakness. If you make her resonance 2, that means that she will die from tricky. If the enemy has tricky, then you are doomed. Because every time she applies bleed damage, somebody gonna get petrified, That is just the nature of rock paper scissors. And then resonance 3, base attack, base defense, base HP plus 15%. Resonance 4 when at an elemental advantage, increase damage, okay. And then resonance 6 at the start of Osana's turn, this is radical treatment, is the passive. At the start of Osana's turn, inflicts several bleed stacks on the enemy with the highest HP. So I'm hoping, because resonance 6 is always gonna be the power spike for every single Esper most of the time. So I do hope that the number of stacks is mind-blowing. So look at this, the temporal tower hard mode, we've already seen that. So hard mode shadow over our rebel with an echo, Ethan, Phantom Sisters, Lian, Ahmed, Sakura, Yuran. None of them really took to my liking, so they are all situational mostly. But I do use Phantom Sisters a lot nowadays because my Phantom Sisters is already at Resonance 6, and I've already did an analysis on her. Resonance 6 is really, really strong, and she kind of like replacing Cecilia, like, because I still don't have Cecilia until now, so she kind of become my own Cecilia, like my flow version of Cecilia. And then X invasion, what is this? Alert, 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 what? Lion, blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is might be the new Redux. Now, Autumn Breeze, Hero on Boss, Celebration Collection, Endless Nightmare, Bootleg, blah, blah, blah. New PvE feature, you can choose automatically. Yes, this one is the auto PvE, performance recommendation display, knockout movement, blah, blah. So, nothing really changes a lot. Like, I was expecting there is gonna be like another balance changes for other Espers, but I think that's enough. Like two major balance changes to a lot of legendary Espers already make them equally strong in this current version. So that is good. Like, the balance of the game right now is in a very good position. You can pretty much counter everything with every single lineup. Like, there's always a counter for every single specific Esper lineup. So currently, the rock, paper, scissors matching is very strong in this current version. Like these days, Dislyte has found that balance, So this is a really, really good time for you to invite your friends to play these games, and to enjoy the game together. Try to support the developer, and your Esper knowledge will become very important now, because you need to memorize every single skill every single Esper can do, and try to come up with a lot of different strategy to counter every single Esper. And now we have here. Ta-da! So I was checking my PTR account, and I didn't find the email for Osana yet, but I checked into the Esper gallery and she's already here. Yeah, so now we can see her skill. We can already see her skill. So let's take a look. Osteotomy, the first skill, attacks one enemy, damage 100% attack. It can goes up to 120%, inflicts bleed for 2 turns. So the damage is average, it's alright, and the bleed lasts for 2 turns. That is alright too. And then second skill, passive, at the start of a round gains 3 stacks of Phantom Pain. This is what we didn't see in patch notes. Yeah, they hide this. And as usual, if they are hiding this must be very, very important. And it is. Phantom Pain, undispellable attack plus 2%, maximum 100 stacks. What the fuck? Will be retained in subsequent rounds. So she is just like Leora, Ahmed, and then I think Sloan can do that too. No. Sloan is a debuff. It's not last until a subsequent round. So this is really good. That means that she's gonna be very strong in trial stages that can continue on for 20 waves, you know. So attack plus 200% at maximum stacks, you know, that is insanely high. So I can already see that her bleed damage is gonna be insanely high because of this, you know, but it will take time for you to gain the 100 maximum stacks. So we're gonna see like how easy it is for her to reach that 100 stacks. Let's take a look. It's like enemies receive a debuff Osana against 1 stack of Phantom Pain. And she herself can inflict a ton of bleed debuffs to the enemy. But if you pair her together with someone like Camille who can explode the bleed, like, you know, you can keep on giving a debuff to your enemies while dealing damage to them. Or you can also pair her up with Poison Espers. You know, we all know that Poison Espers are the ones who give the most debuffs to your enemies. So if you do want to stack this a lot and fast, then you're gonna, your best bet is to pair her up with a Poison Espers if you want. And at the start of Osana's turn, it inflicts 3 stacks of bleed on the enemy with the highest HP for 2 turns. So already at the start of Osana's turn, every single time she moves, she's gonna inflict 3 stacks. So you already get 3 stacks out of your 100 every time you move. So giving her a high speed is quite good, but you do want to focus more on that attack bonus. Like try to give her as much attack bonus as you can. It's probably good to also just ignore her critical rate and critical damage if you want, like, because she gonna focus much on her attack here, and also the bleed damage. It is preferable if you just focus fully on the attack. But if you do want to kill your enemies faster, then you do want to focus on the critical rate and critical damage. So in PvP wise, where you probably want to end the battle as fast as possible, you probably won't go into a very long battle unless you are a tanker, but she is a fighter, she probably doesn't last that long. So you do want that critical rate and critical damage to end the game as fast as you want. You probably won't reach that 100 stacks in PvP games. Hopefully, if you can reach 100 stacks, that means that battle is very long. But in PvE content, then you gonna probably want to stack more attack bonus for her, because the PvE battle will last very long. So you have a very high chance to reach this maximum 100 stacks in a PvE battle. And every single bleed stacks that you have on your enemies will receive 75% of Osana's attack as damage. That is insanely strong, you know. You can take out your calculator and count yourself, but I can already see that this is gonna deal insane amount of damage. Probably in the near future, somebody, another YouTuber, gonna showcase her damage in probably Falsetto Fantasy or Sentinel Hunt, and she will top up the leaderboard statistic. And then, where is it? If the target has bleed, instantly applies 1 turn's worth of bleed damage. After Osana actively attacks, its stack of bleed damage will be applied. So if the enemy have 12 stacks of bleed, which is the maximum stack number of debuffs the enemy can have, then every time she attacks that target, the bleed's gonna explode. This is what makes her really strong, like insanely strong. And also the reason why Ife is currently also very strong if you do have her at Resonance 6. Because every time she or Ife attacks, it's gonna explode the poison stack on the enemies. And 12 stacks of those bleed and poison. Oh my god, let me take my calculator out. If I put in the number to the calculator, so every single bleed debuff's gonna deal 75% of Osana's damage. So 75 times 12. I'm gonna deal, if I have the enemy at 12 stacks of poison, I'm gonna deal 900% of Osana's attack damage every time she attacks that target. So what happens if the target is a boss? Like you definitely, it is very easy to give 12 stacks of bleed to the boss, and every time Osana attacks, it gonna deal 900% of her attack every time she attacks the boss, you know. And if you can do that in PvP, I don't think anybody can survive that, you know. Because her attacks also get amplified by the Phantom Pain. So she already have 200% bonus attack. And you take 900% of that number, which is like, imagine that your current attack here, this one, this is the 100% of her attack, 1264, and then you have your equipment that can give her probably another 5000 attack damage, and then you increase this number by another 200%, so all those numbers will become your new 100%, and then out of that 100%, you're gonna deal 900% damage out of that, out of all those attack, you know, on your enemy every time you attack them. And now if you give her a Billimon, gain 7 stacks of Phantom Pain at the start of a round. So she already have a jump start, like at the beginning of a round. Not every time she gains a turn, you know, so this is only happens at the start of a round. So it's a jump start at the beginning of the battle, so she already have a bonus of 14% attack, which is quite alright. It's not that high, but it just gives you a boost to reach your 100 stacks much faster. Now going to the third skill, inflicts bleed on one enemy for 3 turns, and then attacks the enemy 2 times and damage per hit 150% attack, and the cooldown is 3 turns. And you can reduce that cooldown by 1 turn. Oh my god, the damage can go up to 165%. So in total, you're gonna deal 330, right? 330% attack damage. Yes, 300. Wait. I suddenly become stupid. Yes, 330% of her attack damage, which is insanely high for a third skill. Like usually the average number of the third skill damage is 270%. Now she deals 330%, and the cooldown is only 2 turns. That means that she will be able to keep on casting this. Like she gonna, her rotation will be like this: like third skill, first skill, third skill, first skill, third skill, first skill. Oh my god, that is insane. You know, like she's gonna be able to use her third skill very much. So if you do want to give her, what is that set? The harmony. I think it was harmony, right? The one that gives you a bonus damage every time you cast your third skill, isn't it? Harmony set, yes. If you do want to give her harmony set, it is also very good for her. Although it is very much recommended to give her war set. But if you think that her attack is enough and you just want to increase your overall team's damage, then harmony set is also very good. Because this increase allies damage plus 10% for 2 turns after the wearer casts ability 3, and this is damage. You know, remember this. This is allies damage. So this affects everything. This affects your bleed damage. This affects your poison damage. This affects your true damage. This affects everything. Okay. So if you do want to give harmony set to Osana, it is also gonna be very good. You know, unless you have another Esper that can give, that can cast their third skill very fast, then you can give it to them, and Osana will be very good with the War Machine set. But I think it is still really good to give the harmony set to her because of how often she will be able to cast her third skill. Oh my god, she will be the best holder of harmony set equipment in your lineup. you know. And then yeah, a little bit decrease on her damage, but it will be a huge increase on your team's overall damage. Unless your damage solely based on Osana's damage, like she is your single, she is your the only DPS expert in your lineup, then you don't want to give her harmony. That means that way. Like, you know, you don't want to increase your support, your other expert support, who is a support, increase damage, you know, and from her harmony. Now she also have a captain ability, ally attack plus 30%. So yeah, this is insanely good. So let's see, like how much phantom pain that she can gain. So at the beginning of the turn, at the beginning of the round, she's gonna gain 7 stacks. And then every time enemy receive a debuff, Osana gains 1 stack. So she's gonna get 1 stack from here. Inflicts based on one enemy for 3 turns, attacks the enemy 2 times. We're gonna need to test this, like whether she gonna attacks enemy 2 times and inflict the bleed 2 times, or is it gonna inflict the bleed first and then she will attack the enemy 2 times. I think she will gonna inflict the bleed first and then attack the enemies 2 times, so it will only come out as 1 bleed, but we will never know. Like usually some translation is lost in the middle here. So we will see whether she's gonna inflict 2 bleeds or 1 bleed. But if it only inflicts 1 bleed, then she's gonna gain 1 stack of phantom pain from here, and then from here also she's gonna get 1 stack of phantom pain. So and then she's gonna inflict 3 stacks of bleed on the enemy with the highest HP. Although I don't know if both number will get increased by here. You know, if you increase this using a Bilimon, and the stacks also increase for this one, not only this one, so that means that you also gonna apply 7 stacks of bleed on the enemy with the highest HP for 2 turns. So if these numbers affect this one too, I think it will, because the number is highlighted here, but we must see this in VR Battleground, whether this is true or not. So if this applies 7 stacks of bleed, that means that she can get 7 stacks of phantom pain from here, and then 1 stack from here, or maybe 2 stacks from here. So she can probably get 9 stacks of phantom pain at the maximum every time she moves, and that means that it's gonna be very, very fast for her to reach the 100 stacks. Like, because you're not gonna be alone in inflicting your debuff. For example, if you have someone like Chuyao gonna be able to inflict defense down, seer, and calamity on all 5 enemies. So that means that is 15 stacks of debuff. So you can already get 15 stacks in here, and Chuyao himself will use a pursuit attack and inflicts another defense down and seer. That means that in total Chuyao himself gonna inflict 17 stacks of debuffs, and not counting someone like Hilda will be able to inflict 4 stacks of poison, I think, if I remember correctly, on all 5 enemies. So that is already 20 stacks of debuffs. So eventually it will be very, very easy for Osana to get this maximum 100 stacks even on PvP, as long as you bring a lot of debuffer. Oh my god, she is gonna be, I think I'll probably gonna take 1 copy of her. We will see on her resonance later, but she is my kind of Esper that plays around with debuffs, and I already have a ton of them because I love debuffs so much. So she can make use of all of my debuffer Espers, and you know, just play around with all of my list of debuffer Espers. You know, I can just pair her up with a lot of my Espers that I love. So that is how easy she is into applying bleed stacks. Oh my god, yes. And the best holder of harmony set, and then also really, really strong in trial, and also a boss fight. Oh my god, this is great. She is overall can be used in both PvE and PvP. probably gonna be very paper in PvP. Like she gonna die very easily, so you do need to protect her as much as you can. But yeah, most likely she will have problem in PvP. But if you can protect her really well, then she can be really strong in killing all those tanker Esper nowadays. You know, like 7 stacks of bleed every time she moves. So yeah, even though you give her like Harmony Set or War Machine, you do want to give her as much speed as possible. Like don't neglect those speed. Like hopefully a plus 80 to 100 speed is necessary so she can keep on moving. Like every time she moves, she gonna inflict 7 stacks of bleed for free. That is insanely strong. And if the enemy have a cleanser, like someone like Resonance to Feng Sun, Clara, Jin Yu Yao, etc., like you can trigger your trickiest passive, a lot of times, because every time she moves, she gonna inflict debuffs for free, and it ignores resist. It will definitely gonna hit. Insanely strong. Oh my god, I'm excited to see her. When she got released. And her Divinate when casting Final Diagnosis, that is the third skill, 100% chance of inflicting 2 stacks of bleed. So this is important. The Divinate is important because this makes her able to stack the Phantom Pain even faster, So this gonna total to 3 stacks of bleed on her third skill. So 3 stacks of bleed with the 7 stacks of bleed from at the start of Osana's turn. That means that every time she moves, and if she casts her third skill, she will gain 10 stacks of Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain, yes. So that is insanely good. So stats we've already seen, very paper. Attack is quite okay, not the highest. We already have the highest one with Moroyama, but it's already enough. This is above average, so that is good. And then this one, the Ascension attack defense. Oh my god, too bad. I hope this is HP. And then this one absorb 60% AP. Oh my god. If you focus on a single enemy, they will never move because you have cooldown of 2 turns on this skill. Oh my god. If she can move really fast, like I said, give her speed, she will be able to keep on moving. Like if you absorb 60% of the enemy's AP, that will almost gonna guarantee that you will move again. This is almost like a bonus turn. So you're gonna cast your third skill and straight away gonna follow up with your first skill. My god, she is insanely fast. And then after that, you're gonna cast your third skill again and then follow up with the first skill. So if you can also probably give her a Windwalker then, Just give her a Windwalker, give her as much speed as possible, and she will be able to keep on moving, almost every single turn. Like every 2 turns, you're gonna be able to gain a bonus turn a lot of times. And then the fourth one, critical rate plus 5%, and then the fifth one, critical damage, nice. And then the last one is attack, which she needs very much for her bleed damage. So going into her rival rune, oh my god, they give her leather. Not the best, although the Avatara is alright, like she can inflict bleed every time she counters attack using Avatara, but we already have Yuhime that can stop counter attack, and then we also have someone like Hailey that can stop equipment from taking effect. A lot of times you can stop this nowadays, and this one, it does increase her survivability, which she gonna struggle the most in PvP, like I said, but yeah, I do prefer that if you give her a ton of speed. Let's see. Oh no, they don't give her a ton of speed. So this is gonna be problematic. Like you cannot change your rival rune. So in a PvP stages where you use her rival rune, she's not gonna shine that much. But it does increase her survivability. So if you do want to use her, pair her up with someone like Tricky, Hilda, Camille, or Chuyao. Definitely Chuyao. Like it increases her survivability by a lot, and then she gonna be able to at least help herself with her lifesteal here. But again, because she has a very low maximum HP, so she is prone to get one-shotted, which is not that good, you know. So yeah, pros and cons. Like I said, you know, nowadays Dislyte already found that sweet spot of balance, you know. So all the new espers doesn't feel that OP, but they do make a difference. They give certain impact to the game. Like I say, like Osana gonna give changes to the falsetto fantasy and then the trial stages and also the sentinel hunt. So we will see a lot of difference in the lineup. And because this is an Inferno Esper, in the Ritual Miracle, she gonna be able to be used against APEP. But I don't know if APEP can be easily inflicted with Bleed, but because it ignores resist, so hopefully you can stack Bleed on APEP, and it will be able to kill APEP very, very fast then, you know. And also probably in the other PvE stages. I don't think she's gonna be good in Desolate Land because the win one is Shadow Gale. You need to remove debuff, right? You need to cleanse yourself or give buff to yourself. She can probably be your main DPS there in Desolate Land, in Shadow Gale, but we will see. I think you can. Oh no! In Desolate Land, you cannot inflict debuff on the boss. Yeah. So she will pretty much be useless in Desolate Land if you cannot inflict debuff on the boss. And I think that's it. Yeah, in all of the content, PvE content. But there is there's an advantage of Bleed. Like in Infinite Tower, in Temporal Tower, the bosses cannot be inflicted with poison because it's gonna be very, very easy to kill them with poison. Like Eve can do poison explosion now, so if the enemy have 12 stacks of poison debuff on them, Eve with her first skill gonna be able to inflict 4 times 12, which is 48% of the enemy's maximum HP as damage. That is how strong poison explosion is. So that's why you cannot inflict poison on boss enemies because 48% of their maximum HP. You just need 2 turns of Eve to attack that boss, which is already happened because Eve gains a bonus turn every time she casts her first skill now. So you can already explode the poison 2 times, which is gonna deal 96% of the enemy's maximum HP with Eve. Now you see how strong Eve is, you know, like, I still don't understand why people hate her. Like, she was already really strong when she first came out, now she becomes insanely OP, you know, but you cannot do that, of course, so, yeah, you just have to, you know, just use her in the normal content, Eve. Now we're gonna go to her resonance here, the second resonance, radical treatment. After applying bleed damage, dispels 2 debuffs from each ally. Oh my god, from each ally. That is that, oh my god, after applying bleed damage, which gonna happen every time she attacks the enemy. If the target has bleed, it instantly applies 1 to the, yeah, she's gonna be really, like, much stronger than Jin Yu Yao, as long as you can inflict bleed on your enemy and then apply that bleed damage by attacking them. You dispel 2 debuffs from each ally, so you can definitely use her in APEP. Yeah. Now you can see it's gonna be a really strong main DPS Esper in APEP because you can dispel 2 debuffs from each ally every time she moves. This is insane. But like I said, in PvP you're gonna get countered by Tricky very easily, you know, from each ally. I think if you dispel 2 debuffs from each ally, if this count as the ally as the one who is who dispels the debuffs, then they are the ones who gonna get petrified. You need to test this, you know. If you do try to get her, I think I will. We're gonna test her and see in PvP whether she gonna get petrified. Whether she is the only one who gonna get petrified by Tricky because she is the source of the dispeller, or is it gonna be everyone else who dispel their debuffs who gonna get petrified? You know, that's gonna be a list to test later after she got released. Then the Resonance 4, when an elemental advantage, damage plus 15%. Again, really strong against APEP. The 6 Resonance Radical Treatment. At the start of Osana's turn, inflict 5 stacks of bleed on the enemy with the highest HP for 2 turns. Ignore resist. Oh! Okay, so this not gonna happen, you know. She will only get 7 stacks of Phantom Pain on the first one at the start of the of a round. This one, because this one will be affected by this. Okay, so she won't be able to get 10 stacks of bleed every single turn. She's gonna be able to get 5 stacks of bleed every single turn, because no 6 stacks, because you get 3 stacks from here and you get 3 stacks from here, so 6 stacks. So this Resonance 6 is gonna be insanely strong. Like I said just now, if all of the things I said about 7 stacks of bleed every time she moves, you apply that to the 6 Resonance here. So everything I said about her being OP, it's here on the 6 Resonance. So if you can try to get her to Resonance 6, but I think even at Resonance 2, she is already insanely strong, and she is already quite strong, like very viable even at Resonance 0, which is very good news for a lot of free-to-play players, you know. And this one is only ever going to be useful if you like need this against APEP, but usually you have other source of cleanser, and if you can kill APEP within 10 turns, then you don't really need to dispel your debuffs, which is not gonna be such a huge power spike for her. But this is always gonna be really good. Dispelling 2 debuffs from each ally is something that is gonna be very annoying in PvP if you don't have Tricky. Like if the enemy doesn't bring Tricky, then yeah, good luck trying to apply debuffs on her and her allies. It's gonna get a cleanse every single time she moves, But she doesn't have that much speed in her rival route, which is a shame. Okay, so yeah, that is her. That is Osana. Yep. And what else can I see? Nothing else, right? Yep. I'm probably gonna pull her. Like I love her ability to inflict a ton of bleed. But we will see first. I'm gonna try her in BTR first. See whether everything I said was true. Like how easy it is for her to inflict the bleed. And if it is, like if it's very easy for her to reach 12 stacks of bleed on a single enemy, then yeah, I definitely gonna take her, because she can also be used in Dark Star Lord. Like instead of applying poison on Dark Star Lord, she's gonna be insanely strong, because when you inflict poison on Dark Star Lord, Dark Star Lord doesn't receive that much damage, because in the programming behind the Dark Star Lord, he has a very low maximum HP. So your poison, even if you can stack 12 stacks of poison, Dark Star Lord only receive around 30,000 damage. But if it is bleed, then the damage comes from her attack, like from Osana's attack. So instead of using poison now, you can use Osana in Dark Star Lord. Yeah. Oh my god, like I said, in Sentinel Hunt and in Falsetto Fantasy, Dark Star Lord will be the one that gets affected very much. If you don't have Osana, you will lose in terms of your leaderboard over there. So yeah, for all of you competitive players, definitely take Osana, for Dark Star Lord. So I think that's it. There's no more new Esper, right? Yep. So that's it for this video, guys. So hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you in the PTR testing. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.